Alright, so I want to address a question I get all the time real fast, and it's whether or not you can, really weatherproof your Mache stuff from the rain.
What you want, what you want.
A while back I posted a video on all different kinds of things that you can use to weatherproof. They all work well, but the true key structure to getting, the key thing to keep your Mache holding up in the rain is to have a good, basic, solid, strong armature underneath. Because if you're just using Mache itself, in my personal experience, it doesn't matter how well you seal it and what you seal it with, it's still paper and glue underneath, and it wicks moisture just like glass or cup or anything else. So if you really got some kind of design that's got that's going to have arms reaching out, or things are going to have weight on it, and if it's just Mache and no structure underneath, no PV structure, no wood, no anything like that, I really don't think you're going to make it through the season if you leave it outside and let it get rained on all the time, because it gets weak. I'm going to show you some examples real quick, and then I'm going to let you go. But I want to show you guys really the truth behind all of it and what really happens. My stuff comes out in the yard, it sits out here from the moment I put it in, and then it doesn't go back in. So we've had 3 days of solid rain, and I'll show you some of the stuff that's occurred to my stuff in the yard. Alright, so the first thing we're going to have a look at is the Groundbreakers I made. Like I stated even in the videos, there's so much layering to the Groundbreakers that I wouldn't be sure if you could really even seal it off that well. I sealed my stuff off as well as I could, put it out here, and we're going to test it. Now, let me show you the two different ones, and I'll show you the differences in what has happened with this full 3 days worth of rain. Alright, so this Groundbreaker right here, he is pretty much, if you kind of follow along on the YouTube channel, he's pretty much about 90% just solid paper Mache. Of course, the head is Mache, and then like I told you guys before, I made this rib cage. This is solid Mache. There's no other wire structure inside, and the spine itself going on up was all total Mache. Now, it's rained for 3 days, and you can see this arm has fell quite a bit, but it has stopped right here. The only thing that I can say that's stopping that from going all the way down, remember the arms got PVC that run up in them here, and then on the back side I flattened that PVC out and attached it to the structure all the way around back to this arm, and then PVC down. And I think the only thing that's stopping this from collapsing all the way is also on the video underneath in this rib cage. I put that piece of PVC between this upper part of the rib cage and down below to create a structure. Without that, I really feel like this rib cage would have fully collapsed on in and would have brought the arm on down with it anyway. It doesn't look bad when you look at it from a distance. Anybody else walking by, they're never going to know anything ever happened. But without that support in here, this would have collapsed. It would have fell all the way down, and I really believe that the rib cage would have flattened itself out, and there wouldn't be much left of this guy to contend with. The head's okay. I mean, it's a little spongy. Anything's going to get spongy as soon as it dries out, it hardens back up. But the point I want to make is anytime you've got a weight like this, a stressor on your project, if you don't have structure underneath, that paper's going to get wet, it's going to get soft, and it's going to twist, and it's going to change. So if you build your stuff with a good structure to the inside, you'll be okay, because the Mache is just laying over it. If you're not using the Mache as structural integrity of your piece, you're going to be alright. There's that one, 90% Mache. You can see This is falling down, it's a little spongy, it's going to dry out, he's going to be okay. By adding the different pieces of structure to this, I think that's what saved this one. Now this is the Groundbreaker that we got the tutorial on, full from the ground up. You guys know on the inside he is PVC all the way up to the head. He's got a Tbar in here, PVC, and PVC back out of the arms. And then the ribs are a vinyl tubing on the inside. You know, his skinning is soft now. Can move around. But, so what I'm getting at really with this guy, I'm not worried about it at all. Everything structurally that's holding all the weight on him is solid because we've got the PVC structure inside there. Everything is good. All this stuff is exterior. This head isn't going to collapse. It's not holding any weight. It'll get a little spongy, but it'll dry out. Everything within this is going to dry out. It's going to harden back up. We don't have to worry about it bending out of shape because we've got that solid structure on the inside. Without that, this thing would probably collapse. But with it, we're doing good. So this thing, I'm convinced, can get rained on multiple times over and over and over again and never have an issue. The other one over there, I don't know. If it takes another 3 or 4 days of rain like we've had, I don't know if it's going to go ahead and collapse or not, just because it doesn't have a full structure on the inside. Like I said, it's just pieced together structure. You guys saw that in the videos, and the water just does a lot to it. So if you've got items that are full mache or something like what I've done there, and you know it's going to rain, put something over it. You know, it'll take a day of rain pretty good. You don't have to worry about it. But if you know you got a week's worth of rain or a lot of heavy rain and you don't have a good solid structure underneath like this one, cover it. Get it out of the rain or pull it inside. That's the best advice I can give you. So the thing with this witch, she's going on her 6th year. She's really held up good. She's mache, but underneath all this is a foam head, and that really lays a good structure. She gets a lot of rain. She does well. You know, some of my pumpkins over years, they've sagged down like this little guy here. To me, which is fine. I really don't care. He's held up. This one's doing pretty decent. Just like anything else, the wider you make these mouths, and without any structure on the inside, any kind of real structure holding it up, it gets a lot of rain. You'll watch that mouth begin to sag. Now if it sags and you want to bring it back out, you can shove something inside of it, open the mouth up, take the thing up out of the rain, let it dry out, and you're good again. So really the biggest thing in the nutshell is what I want to tell you guys is, yes, mache is going to last in the rain. It's going to go through the storms. As long as you really got a true solid structure inside, on your arms, on everything. If the mache isn't holding the weight, if the mache itself is not the true structure point of what you've got, you should have no worries. You seal it up, it'll make it through it, and it can be out in the rain. If you've built something like I've done in the past, and a project I'm currently working on, and it's nothing but mache and cardboard as a center structure, you could have some issues depending on how much rain you've actually had. So, the next time, guys, keep making something from nothing.